see. Test. Mic is good. Mic is good. Let's go ahead and turn this up a bit. Should be good. All right. Let's see here. We should be going live. Let's make sure this is all working. Let's test the sound. Test. All right, let me turn this mic up a bit, though. I think I need to turn the mic up a bit. Let's turn this. Let's do this. 200%. All right. How's it sounding, guys? Are we okay? Ready when you are. I love that. Does it sound good, though, Ariana and Llama? You guys all right? Does it sound like, can you hear my mic okay? Just want to make sure that's coming through good for you guys. All good. All right. What's up, OMC? All right, let's get into this, guys. So welcome, guys. This is Sensei Chat 74. We're going to talk about a wide range of topics. I do 2 of these chats a week usually, depending on if all the technical stuff is working for me. These chats are designed to save you time and energy. A lot of people don't have 10 hours a day to spend on the crypto market and with everything that's going on. What's up, JP? And so let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about Ripple, XRP. We're going to talk about CBDCs. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about regulations, a lot of different topics that we're going to go over in this chat today. The first thing I want to do is I had a friend that did not want to sign up to Cryptonaires, which is all good. You know, everyone is open to the things. But what they did was they went ahead and invested into a scam and lost a lot of money. And I wanted to point out this website. You can kind of pause the video, raw.github. It says GitHub. What's this? Burns content. So this is a list of all of the, most of the scams that are out there for as far as websites go. And so you can actually go through this whole list. The best thing we're to be doing is if you're looking at a new project or if you get a weird email and you see the website, you can actually click here and you can go to find. And then you can copy and paste it down here. And this is going to pull up and tell you if it's in fact a scam. So people are constantly updating this as more scams come into the crypto market. But this is a first line of defense to protect you guys. What's up, LAX? Good to see you, man. Steve, great to see you. And so this is a great place to make sure that you're protecting yourself. And actually the scam itself that he fell victim to was actually on this list. And if he would have maybe just asked the community, or if he was in the Cryptonaires and he could have asked, we could have pointed him here and shown him this, and maybe we could have saved him some money. But the first thing you want to do out here is make sure that you're protected. And if you're getting weird emails from like Coinbase saying verify your account or doing something like that, just understand that's probably a scam. And there's just thousands. I think there's like 60,000 different sites here that are scams in the crypto market. So always protect yourself, and definitely want to make sure that you're protected out here in the space. And part of my job is to show you where you can find information like this so you can be protected. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. I thought this was juicy, and let's start here, as Bitcoin is definitely going to bring more people into the crypto space, especially these ETFs that are coming. This is Jay Clayton, who's actually, he didn't really do a whole lot to push the crypto space forward. He thinks he did a whole lot of good stuff, but I tend to differ on opinion. But he's actually asked some pretty tough questions here, and I like this clip. So let's play this and we'll talk about it.
Means longer term for crypto. We were talking about the price of Bitcoin has actually moved a little bit higher, not as it relates to this, as it relates to the fact that maybe the government's going to stay open, and relates to this comment that Gary Gensler made that had the government shut down, there'd be no chance of a Bitcoin ETF. I don't know if you think there's any better chance that there's a Bitcoin ETF now the government's open.
Well, we'll go to that specific question, but 2 things on crypto. One is this trial at a macro level demonstrates how important our regulatory environment is. No commingling of funds, customer assets are segregated. All of those things are designed to prophylactically prevent what is alleged to have happened here.
Well, yes, but the other piece of it is that this was a company that was doing its entire business offshore. Interestingly, one of the things that's happened, because we haven't figured out how to regulate crypto, and this is an argument somebody like a Brian Armstrong would make from Coinbase, you're looking at them open up businesses elsewhere, right? They're now doing a lot of business in Europe. They're trying to do business in other countries, in large part because we haven't really figured out what this is supposed to be.
And this is why I think the next step, we recognize that. The next step on crypto is incremental. Crypto is a technology. let's see that technology in our financial ecosystem in a place where we're confident it's totally safe. So I believe that stablecoin, a well-constructed, well-regulated stablecoin, is one of those places. I also believe that we've decided every legal question around Bitcoin that is relevant. So as I've said before, that would make you think that a Bitcoin spot ETF is inevitable. We know it's not a securities.
Here's a question though. You were the chair of the SEC.
Listen to this. This question's really good. Just listen to this.
SEC. What happened between the time that you were the chair of the SEC and now, where you could stipulate to the idea that we know all the facts around Bitcoin?
Well,
were there new facts that came to light in the past since you?
There were. The classification of Bitcoin when I was chair of the SEC had already been decided when I got there. Okay, that it was a commodity, that the CFTC had regulated it as a commodity. I was very concerned that the trading of Bitcoin around the globe on exchanges that we had no insight into had a large amount of fraud going on.
Right.
And I was not comfortable, and the staff at the
By the way,
SEC
you were proven right.
Yes.
So, okay. So now what's changed since then?
So there are a lot of people who do surveillance and the like who are confident that the Bitcoin spot market is what I would say has much greater efficacy than it did 3 or 4 years ago.
Because you've cleaned out the Sam Bankman-Frieds of the world? Is that the idea?
I think it's a number of things.
Finance?
But in the applications that the what I would say is well-respected financial institutions, new financial institutions or new financial providers have submitted to the SEC, they lay out the case for why trading in spot Bitcoin is more efficacious than it was in the Washington.
What do you think?
Guys, and remember, so, I know maybe we're not all fans of Bitcoin, but understand that the institutional money is coming for Bitcoin. And I do think this is going to help out the altcoins as you get more and more people. An ETF, you don't actually own the asset. The company that you're buying it through owns the asset. But it gives you a taste of what the crypto market is like. And you can imagine that if somebody's entering, early into Bitcoin at, 27, 28,000, when these spot ETFs come down and it goes to 100K, those people might be more inclined to buy other altcoins. And that's usually how this works, right? You get the Bitcoin dominance, and then as Bitcoin kind of tops out, people are taking massive profits and they're rolling them into altcoins. And that's where we can see stuff like our XRPs, our XLMs, or XDCs pump without actually getting utility involved, right? Because that's what we're all waiting for. I know people don't like to accept this, but we are still in a speculation market. I talk about with my community about this a lot at Cryptonaires. We are still waiting for regulation globally. We're still waiting for a Basel framework to be updated so banks can custody digital assets. And I think you're seeing a move in institutions and banks towards crypto. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that, and I feel like some banks are cutting off deposits onto Coinbase or other services like that. But you have to understand, banks that want to stay around and they want to stay relevant are going to have to adopt crypto because their customers are going to want to do that. We did a chat last week, and I was showing some numbers from a 2022 poll. And that it was 70% or 75% of people that don't own crypto would buy crypto if it was through their current banking relationship where they feel comfortable, where their money is. So as banks adopt this technology, you are going to see massive amounts of people coming into the space. All right. And, if you didn't see this over the week, no worries. Ripple is now fully licensed to provide a digital payment token services in Singapore. I think there's about 14 or 15 other companies that have the same license, but it's just another license that Ripple needs to operate globally. And the Monetary Authority of Singapore has given it to them. So that's great news. Jobs reports in the United States just came in, guys. They were higher than expected. So you have certain bond markets that are rallying and different things. I'm going to play a little bit of this and we'll move on. Okay.
Right over to Rick Santelli with those numbers. Rick, take it away.
Yes, jobs numbers for the month of September. Non-farm payroll, a whopping 336,000, much stronger than what was expected in the 165 to 170,000 camp. And if you look at the unemployment rate, it remained at 3.8%. It remained at 3.8%. And if we look at average hourly earnings, they also remained at up 0.2%. Now, real quickly, up 3.8% happens to be the highest since Jan of 22, so we remain at that level even though it's 2 months running. And on the wages, month over month, average hourly earnings up 0.2. That is the smallest since February of 22, and it remains the smallest since February.
Guys, understand this. This is probably seasonal hiring. I still think that the U.S. is headed for a recession of some type. We're going into an election here in the U.S., and there's going to be a lot of politics, but there's a lot of things that are happening right now in the U.S. Student loan repayments have been kind of cut off since COVID. 40 million people in the U.S. have student loans. The average payment on a student loan is $400. 20 million of those people were not paying student loans for the last couple years. Now they're having to start to repay these loans. That means there's going to be billions and billions and billions of dollars less that people can spend on crypto, on groceries, on gas, whatever it is. So I do think manufacturing is going to be taking a hit. We've seen that in Germany. We're seeing that in the U.S. We're seeing a slowdown in China. It is kind of, China is still the global supply chain, even though things are starting to get backed up. Their orders are going like 36 months out for some certain things. India, Africa, those are two great places that have a lot of really young people. I think those are going to be the new supply chain hubs of the world over the next decade. It is going to take many years to build out these factories, to train these people and what to build. So just look at that as the world shifts. China will not play, in my opinion, China will not play as big of a role as they have been playing in the world. They have a lot of issues with their being overbuilt, right? They overcounted their population. They overcounted their young people by 100 million. So all of these real estate developers, you have Country Garden, you had Evergreen, those guys are 500 billion in debt. Okay. And the Chinese system is a little bit different than the U.S. system, obviously, state controlled. But we do need to take notice of these things happening, because as these supply chains get slower and slower and slower, goods will not be showing up as fast as we want them to, maybe, and people will not be spending as much money. So just something to keep an eye on, guys. If you also missed it too, derivatives volume surges by 185% with Ripple and XRP. I think you are seeing. I just did a video with Brad Garlinghouse. He was on stage at Token 49 last week. He gave a great interview. That video will be coming out here on YouTube shortly. But what you have here is the SEC just lost appeal, or their appeal process, right? And a lot of people are saying this is maybe when you might see a settlement. It could happen a little bit sooner, but the reason I don't think this is going to go to trial, guys, is because you're going to be able to put people like Bill Hinman on the stand, and you're going to be able to hammer that guy. And the SEC has already embarrassed themselves enough with all of what's happened here. I don't think they're going to want to push their luck with this. So this says on April 16, 2024 at 2 p.m., counsel for all parties shall appear for a final pre-trial conference in conference room D. So this is kind of when, this is like, I guess, the last day maybe that they could do some type of settlement as they would go start getting into a trial period here. Remember, Brad and Chris are still having to fight this battle right now. But the SEC did, in fact, lose on appeal. They cannot go forward with an appeal. Wrath Economy says a good point by, it says Pink Knoll. In dismissing the interlocutory appeal, the judge makes it clear that all sales on exchanges are not somehow exonerated, just the Ripple sales in this case. It leaves the door open for the SEC action against other tokens and issuers, and you're going to see probably other actions, but it says, but the court did not hold that offers and sales of digital asset exchanges cannot create a reasonable expectation of profits based on the efforts of others. The court held that based on the totality of the circumstances in this case. You also have John Deaton kind of weighing in here. Let me play this for you.
Howey is a fact and circumstance test. And I applied the facts and the circumstances, and XRP on exchanges, in this case, were not securities. End of story. And so the interlocutory appeal was denied because the only time an interlocutory appeal gets granted, Brad, is when the appellate court doesn't have to look at the facts. It's just a pure issue of law. And she said, no, I applied the facts to the case. The XRP affidavits is one of the facts. I applied these facts and came up with this ruling. And she just takes the SEC to school, and she solidifies her first ruling so much even better. And really, as I said yesterday, it really shows you that XRP really is the only asset. If we take Bitcoin out, because Gensler just said, he didn't think it was a security, but as far as legal status, XRP is the only one that has the pure legal status of not being a security.
All right, there you go. That was John Deaton's opinion on the matter. You also have this clip, Marcus Treacher. He used to be the executive chairman. He's the executive chairman, but he was the former senior VP at Ripple from 2016 in April to December 2020. The real-time gross settlement, cross-border liquidity / settlement solution, atomic settlement, with a revolutionary way of thinking about liquidity. They don't explain what exactly they're using here, but let me just play this clip. It's a minute 16, and we'll talk about it.
And well, tell us about RTGS Global's approach there. You mentioned that's the problem you're trying to solve. What's I guess, different about the approach to cross-border settlement that you're providing?
Our solution enables the funding required, the placing of that liquidity to happen immediately and what we call atomically. And that means that the money is moving between the currency that the payment is starting at to the currency that the payment is going to end at immediately and without any half payment problems. So if you're making a payment in the UK again, £1,000, that £1,000 will only move if at the other end of the flow, let's say in Brazil again, or in the USA, the equivalent of dollars have moved as well. So we make the whole transaction atomic, and we also have a revolutionary way of thinking about that liquidity so that we can make that movement happen at any point in time, any time of day, any day of the working week, and ultimately to any value.
To any value. What do you guys think they're talking about here? Atomic settlement? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Marcus Treacher, it looks like, what was December 2020? That was when Ripple got sued, right? This guy is like, Ripple got sued, I'm out of here. I'm not even gonna, this dude quit right as that happened. I don't know if it was right before or during, but this is the month that it all went down. The National Bank of Georgia has named Ripple Labs as a potential tech collaborator for implementing CBDC pilot. You guys are going to see a ton of this in 2024. I just saw a clip on Crypto Erie's channel where Brad Garlinghouse was talking about working with over 10 central banks, as well as dozens of others. But I do think you're going to see more and more news start to pour out. And a just big shout out to Lewis Jackson. He does a lot of great work out here. And I consider him a friend. He's a really great guy. All right. About settlement. They could be talking settlement right now. John Deaton's kind of teasing this a bit. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
They could be talking settlement right now. I'm not saying they are. Sure. Right. But they could.
He's going to give you the reasons why he doesn't think it's going to go to trial. It's kind of what I told you a little bit earlier.
And they don't want to try the case. So I don't think a trial is going to happen.
Okay. So that's your prediction, that a trial is not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think a trial is going to happen. They're going to lose. Do they really want all that Hinman stuff and the drama of a trial? And I mean, a trial in this case, Tony, would take a month. You know what I mean? Ripple would want to call Hinman, Valerie S., Amy Starr, Hester Peirce. I mean, I'm just naming names, right?
Oh, sure.
They might want to call John Deaton. Who knows?
Jay Clayton? Jay Clayton, maybe?
I mean, it's going to be a big.
Okay, so that's your prediction. Volume sounds pretty good on my
big, long, lengthy, very, very expensive trial. And if your chances are slim to none, why do that, right? Now, if they weren't fighting Coinbase and Binance and doing all the other things, maybe it's worth it. But don't you need those resources to fight the other cases? Yeah. And so that's what I mean is that I don't think there'll be a trial, but I could be wrong.
All right, let me turn up the mic volume. I'm trying to not like scream in your ears with the microphone. Let me turn this up a little bit more. Hopefully that helps you. Let me go ahead and just turn this up a bit. Hopefully that is a little bit better for you guys. I will try to talk a little bit louder into the microphone. I don't know. This is a 12-minute clip. I don't want to bore you with it, but you do have Michael Barr. He used to work with Ripple. Now he's the vice chairman of the supervision of the board of governors, the Federal Reserve System. He gives a speech talking about digital assets and the banking system. And this is where we're heading, guys. Check this out. M2 money supply. I just want to show you this really quickly. Hopefully the volume is turned up a bit. Dude, I've been already pulling my hair out. Yeah, I've been in crypto since late 2019, and it's you got to have patience in this space, guys, because if you don't, you'll never make it. All right, let me just show you this. Here is the M2 money supply, basically what is out there, and this is in billions of dollars. So thousands of billions is trillions. The M2 money supply right now is just over 20 trillion, almost to $21 trillion. The reason I'm showing you this, guys, is one day, not just all of this US value, but a lot of the value globally is going to get tokenized. And as that value gets tokenized, that is how you move that value at the speed of light. So it is a lot of money. And as we get through these next couple years, a lot of it is going to end up on certain ledgers in the background. And that's how you're going to move this money. So Jeremy Hogan also tweeted this. The SEC's motion for interlocutory appeal was denied, which means the case either goes to trial in April or it goes away. I'm not going to read all this this lawyer jargon to you. Obviously, if you've been in the space over the last week, you've probably seen this. This is October 3rd, so this is about 6 days ago. Let's just keep it rolling. This is actually an AMM company, Orchestra Migration. I've reached out to them, and I'm sure every YouTuber that likes XRP has reached out to them, but they did reply, and hopefully I'll get an interview with them sooner or later. But it says, we have successfully migrated to the XRPL DevNet and the AMM DevNet. We invite you to explore the new network. Please activate your cross-Marco card. Again, Ripple Dev Network. So they're coming, guys. AMMs are definitely coming, and this is where you're going to get a lot of liquidity to be sourced, and this is where you're going to be able to make some money off of your, there you go, Mike is nice. There we go. I love it. All right, love to hear it. We just needed to go 300%, my people. All right, juicy. Let's keep it going. All right, so if you didn't know, earlier this week, ETH USD futures began. All right, and let me just play. I have 2 clips talking about this, and we need to talk about this because I don't think there is as many people that are interested in ETH futures that they are for like spot Bitcoin ETFs. I really think a majority of the market is waiting for Bitcoin. I do think Ethereum, with all of this, how do you say it, right? We do know for a fact that Bill Hinman was paid by the Ethereum Alliance to give Ethereum a free pass. Now, I don't know what happens in the future about that, but I do think there's going to be one day where Ethereum might have to answer some tough questions, and they might be in the same situation that Ripple finds himself in right now. So it's just interesting that you're seeing a lot of these futures and different things come up with Ethereum. We'll have to see how this goes.
Ethereum-themed ETFs. I'll be very interested in what demand is like, and to the extent there is demand, where does it come from? Does it come from retail investors, Julie, Josh, friends and family, or is this, to the extent, again, that we see it, is it more of a financial advisor product? This is something they want to buy their customers?
I'm not clear on the answers to any of these questions, right? Because on the one hand, you have the SBF trial that is set to begin. That defenders of crypto would say, well, you get fraud in any asset class. This is not unique to crypto. Critics of crypto would say that there are qualities of cryptocurrencies that make it especially susceptible to fraud, in part one of them being that it is not as regulated as other types of asset classes. So that debate sort of rages on in the background, even as we get approval and beginning of trading of these new products. So it's kind of an interesting time, if you will. At the same time, we see Bitcoin up today, right? We see some buying, again, even as the SBF trial is set to begin. Ethereum, though, is trading lower, so all of these products are also under pressure in today's session. So it's unclear exactly what the situation will bring. I should also mention real quickly, Grayscale Investments is also now applied to have its Ethereum Trust converted into an ETF. And of course, it's been on that similar quest with its Bitcoin ETF.
And, Bitcoin that we just showed there, so near 28,000, it has rebounded strongly, but of course, way off that record of 69,000. I thought it was very interesting to Julie, just what venture investors are doing right now. So these are obviously the men and women that are writing all those checks to those private companies. And this, courtesy of Bloomberg, VC deals targeting cryptocurrency and blockchain projects have shrunk to about $7 billion in total this year. That is about, Julie, a quarter of the full year tally in each of 2021 and 2022. So bottom line, VCs tightening their purse strings a bit here.
Yeah, again, you have that at the same time that the likes of Coinbase are in DC still really taking their case to regulators. You know,
so much enthusiasm for those spot Bitcoin ETFs, right? I mean, that is
from
really
somebody.
From at least
from somebody. I mean, when you have BlackRock's website getting 600,000 searches a month for Bitcoin, you know big money is coming. All right, so this was kind of the day one of futures trading for Ethereum. I just want to play this for you. It's kind of interesting. I thought it was going to be bigger than this, but let me show you this.
It's a special day, Katie. This is an unprecedented day in the history of ETFs. Never seen this happen before. We have a multitude of Ether and Ether plus Bitcoin futures ETFs launching all on the same day. Remember when BITO launched? That was 2 years ago. Those Bitcoin futures, only one launched, and it got like all the volume, basically. So the SEC was like, well, we don't want to do that anymore. Let's have them all out to have fair play. So here's the ones all in the market trading today. There's their volume. I kind of sorted it by the most volume as of noon. Total of $2 million trading. Not that much. Although compared to a regular launch, it's a lot, but it's not a lot versus BITO. So little less interest in here, interest in these, and it's going to be an interesting to watch these ETFs jockey per position, because the one that gets the most volume typically gets the most assets and has a lot of pricing power. So Katie, this is a derby, I call it, and we're going to see who wins. It's very early still, though.
What do you guys think? Do you think in 2 years from now is Ethereum still going to be number 2 behind Bitcoin, or do you think XRP or something else will take its place? I'd love to know what you guys are thinking in the chat. So Swift is working with MasterCard, which in the background is working with Ripple. All right. This is from Flip the Chain. There's some of these newer sites that are coming up I don't really love, but I'm just going to play a little bit of this. It is kind of 3 minutes of just more of the same that we're used to seeing on this channel, so I don't want to waste too much of your time. So let me just kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what this says, and then we'll move on.
Be part of the future of finance with better, richer data, enabled by ISO 20022. In modern financial markets, success is built on accurate, real-time data. Being able to efficiently exchange data is key to providing cheaper, better services today and building bigger, more profitable businesses in the future. That's where ISO 20022 can help. ISO 20022 isn't just a messaging format. It's an open global standard for financial information. It provides consistent, rich, and structured data that can be understood by anyone and used for every kind of financial business transaction. And the benefits? Increased operational efficiency through greater automation, more reliable customer due diligence, reducing financial crime, significant savings in managing cash, collateral, and credit, better customer experience, like real-time reporting, rapid onboarding, and instant payments. Data-driven in.
All right, you guys kind of get the point. If you want to come, go to Flip the Chain. You can watch the rest of this, but I got a lot more to get to, and so let's keep it going. Expanding solutions, crypto solutions like Ripple to SEPA, right? SEPA is a single euro payments area. If you watch my channel, you know all about this. I got a great video coming out about this. I'm just going to read a couple things here. The European Payments Council has also made progress through the SEPA instant credit transfer system. An update to the original SEPA, the Single Euro Payments Area program, designed to reduce friction with data and cost issues in the Euro system, payment system, which requires payments to clear in 10 seconds or less between 26 countries involved. Damn, those are quick payments, guys. Those are quick payments. So there's about, I think, 46 billion payments that go through SEPA each year. And I do think they're just going to gain more and more market share. It says expanding crypto forward solutions like Ripple, crypto-enabled payment solutions, which frees up working capital by eliminating the need for pre-funding and removes the need for complex clearing mechanisms in the background, right? It's interesting. They've been working on this system, I think, since 2016, guys. It's been a long time coming. So it's great to see, 7 years later that we're finally getting this solution rolled out. Total securities, guys, 112 trillion. Total FX market, 7.5 trillion a day. This is really where a lot of this value is going to come from. The value of global domestic equity market increased from 65 trillion in US dollars in 2013 to 98 trillion in US dollars in 2020. As of July 2023, the total market capitalization of domestic companies listed on stock exchanges worldwide as a recorded 112 trillion US dollars. Guys, the reason this is important is because you're going to see digital twins of securities. You're going to see digital twins of bonds. You're going to see digital twins of all of this. And that's how that value is going to be able to be moved very quickly, instant settlement, right? And so, I mean, you're talking about trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. And then turnover in the global FX markets, right, reached 7.5 trillion a day. And understand this FX market is out here. If you're a company in the US and you're doing business, let's say in England, and you need to pay invoices or for anything, machinery, whatever, you're going to need to be paying in British pounds instead of being paying it in dollars. So companies will have to go onto this FX market, get pounds for their dollars, and this is where you get a lot of this value, right? And so having a good bridge asset could make this whole market move a lot more quickly, and that is what we're hoping as like XRP and XLM holders, as well as XDC should get some of this trade too. The evolution of cryptocurrencies. Due to the successful experiment, Swift plans on implementing blockchain and cryptocurrency functionality the following year. This exciting project can be found in Swift Standards Release 2023. In continuation, its standards release in 2022. The securities messages of this report now accommodate digital assets, right? So we know this is all coming. We talk about the DTIF, was the digital token identifier. You have ISO 24165, which is the digital token identifier. You can actually go onto this website. You can look up your favorite cryptocurrencies and see if they have a DTI code. I've looked, I've seen like your XRPs, your XLMs, your algos. I think I've even seen like Pepe on here too. So you don't really need much to get one of these DTIs, but this is what you're going to need if you're going to be making these instant payments and instant settlements and using digital assets. And then we know that the Eurozone, Target 2, Target 2S, they are all moving to going live in November with all of this. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in November, guys. Don't get your hopes up, please, because I've gotten my hopes up many times over the years, and I have found just sadness and depression when dates come and go that people think something's going to happen. So I don't get excited over anything now. I really don't. But just know, as we get into November 19th is the day, and when all of this kind of moves over, let's hope something happens, because we all could use a better Christmas and something going up in our quants, our XRPs, our XLMs, our XDCs. That's really going to make us feel a lot better. It says we'll go live November 2023. SEPA request to pay. The scheme allows a payee or request payment initiation and supports various physical and online cases. The SRTP rulebook V3 will become effective in November 2023. And then you have the European Payment Initiative, launched by 12 European banks and financial institutions. The EPI aims to create a unified, innovative pan-European solution that leverages SCT Instant and EPI-powered P2P, person-to-person digital wallet. Will be launched at the end of 2023. So what do you guys think is going to happen in 2023 at the end here? Anything good for us, you think? Or are we kind of just, are we just hoping? Expect an explosion, right? You do have people that think that things are going to explode in November. I'll read this to you really quickly. This says, in addition to phasing out the use of paper transaction records, the guidance made the long-awaited recommendation that trading partners adopt GS1's Electronic Product Code Information Services (EPCIS) standard, citing its ability to ensure DSCSA compliance. There's all these acronyms. I hate them. It's a compatibility with a range of technology approaches and its broad existing uptake. We'll have to see what happens, guys. I definitely don't get your hopes up. I would love to be wrong, but anyways, this is just more talking about SEPA. And then also you have a partnership with Modular, right? Ripple has a partnership with Modular that's connected into SEPA. CHAPS is the payment system in England. In the UK, they clear about 400 to 500 billion pounds a day through this system. They did have highs of over £1 trillion. So it'll be interesting to see what the UK does with this as well. The modular integration supports business-to-business, peer-to-peer, and business-to-customer payments across borders, with initial focus on attracting partners in the Asia-Pacific, Middle East, and Latin American regions. Also, this is pretty cool. Honda now accepts crypto for payments, right? So I guess if you have a Honda and you want to spend some of your hard-earned crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others, you got SHIB on here, XRP, BNB, DOT, and plus some more. So it's just interesting to see some of these automakers go this route. This is kind of cool news. Flip the Coin loves to talk about MasterCard and Ripple for some reason. This person really likes it, whatever. MasterCard will use bridging capability of XRP and leverage knowledge of smart contracts and offline payments in the new payment ecosystem. Remember, guys, for all of this to work, you need offline payments. That is a key in all of this, because there are a lot of places around the globe that don't have internet access. I know that people like Elon Musk, and it looks like China is now trying to get into this space race, launching these satellites that will give proper 5G or up to 10G speed services in rural areas. But we'll have to see how all of this plays out. You guys can come take a look at all this information. I'm not going to read it all to you. I don't want to put you to sleep. Let's keep it going. Cypress Demonicor, this guy does a lot of really good work. He's got a really great team. This is about XDC, presenting in front of large financial institutions in October. This is relevant. This is just from a couple days ago.
What's going on, everybody? Shout out to the CyberX researchers. As always, we're paying close attention to what the XDC network is going to be doing over the next couple of months and how they're going to be developing over the next couple of years, mainly because of some major events that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. For example, the Trade Finance Investor Day taking place in October of this year. We know that Andre Casterman was just on a panel discussion talking about what the XDC network is going to be presenting in front of large financial institutions like Goldman Sachs and Deutsche Bank.
Now let's talk about the amazing speaker lineup you've managed to get for this event, the likes of Goldman Sachs Asset Management, Santander Asset Management. We're also going to be hearing lots of case studies as well, aren't we?
Yes, definitely. We have on the origination side, large banks and alternative lenders speaking. So examples are indeed Deutsche Bank.
So Andre, you've been handpicking the best people in our industry to appear at our event.
Yes, indeed. And I'm terribly proud of the work we have achieved over the last few weeks to handpick really the most recent innovations that are of importance for our target audience, banks, alternative lenders, and institutional investors. The Investor Day is all about demonstrating how we, as an industry on the trade side, can attract more institutional liquidity into the market. And during the Investor Day, indeed, we're going to have the XDC network team also presenting how much they are focusing on trade finance and the tokenization of trade finance to grow the community of investors and to enable investment products to become...
My bad. What'd I do? Sorry.
Accessible to new investors, including in the end, or accessible to new investors, including in the end, retail investors.
Now, we also know the perspectives that Goldman Sachs and Deutsche Bank has on this digital asset landscape, and specifically mentioning tokenization via two previous panel discussions that I've shown you guys before. Take a second and listen to these representatives from both of these large financial institutions.
And I think one thing that's everybody knows about Goldman Sachs is that you're really good at timing the market. And in this specific market, it looks like you're quite early. And do you think you're quite early? Is it now the right time to deploy? Where do you see the horizon? What is the timeline that you see realistically for an institution such as Goldman Sachs to be able to be in production with a tokenization solution?
Yeah, interesting. I'm hoping we're not too early. I would say, actually, I feel we're at this inflection point. So the actual opportunities themselves, I think we spent, as an industry, you could argue like nearly 10 years experimenting in blockchain now. And there's been a ton of different use cases like thrown at the wall where like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. to your point, as you open the panel, mainly from the origination side. And I think now the combination of, we know what opportunities are commercially viable, the technology is fit for purpose, and the people and the governance are ready to go. I'm hoping the next 1 to 3 years we're going to move into like business creation and driving commercial outcomes.
Sure. Hi everybody, my name is Melanie and I work for Deutsche Bank within the corporate bank part. In the end, I personally find it very interesting, and I think blockchain is also future technology, so therefore it's really important that we as a big international financial institution play a role in this field. Deutsche Bank, of course, also is working on other digital asset use cases, for example, custody or tokenization, to name the two biggest ones.
That is an absolutely massive statement.
All right, let's continue here. He does a little bit of just kind of repeating the same thing, but it's all good. Big shout out to Cyber Monaco. He does a lot of great research out here in the space. I thought this was cool. The immersion cooled Bitcoin mine and powered by nuclear solar energy, right? They're finding new ways to power Bitcoin mining. I thought this you can't understand what the guy is saying. I just wanted to kind of show you this. Look how big this is. It's crazy, and this is both sides. So you love to see better ways to power Bitcoin mining. I'm all for it. Let's keep it going. All right, Kobayashi letter. I love these. The 10-year note yield hits 4.7% for the first time since October 2007. The 10-year note is now up 430 basis points since March of 2020's low, while Treasury yields hit a 15-year highs, seeming every day. Odds on additional rate hikes are down. However, a long pause through July of 2024 is now expected. Remember, guys, usually once the Fed starts lowering rates, that's when things start breaking. And usually you see a stock market decline anywhere from 30 to 45%. If you look back at the last 6 times this has happened, the market has just gone way down. So just be prepared for that. If you are trading stocks out here, just know that you're going to wake up one day and the market is going to not be pumping, right? You have the AI craze. The AI craze is kind of settling down. That's really been what's going and funding the stock market recently. So just know that, once that hype kind of fades, you're going to see a lot of people taking profits. An incredible $993 billion has gone into money market funds since the Fed started raising rates in March 23. Almost $1 trillion of people's capital have gone into money market funds. Inflows of money market funds are well ahead of those seen in 2015, 2004, 1999, 1994 rate hike cycles. With a strong U.S. dollar and falling bond prices, money market funds are the new safety trade. Why take risks on your safety when you can get 5% risk-free? I mean, well said. My wife works in the banking industry, and she's seeing a lot of people getting into some of these market funds, money markets, between 4.5%, 5%. So it's just going to be interesting to see where this all turns out. This red line here, guys, is 2022. As you can see, it's never kind of gone up this high, this fast. So a lot of people are adjusting their portfolios for that. Okay. Jamie Dimon says JP Morgan can handle 8% interest rates. I don't think Americans can. I guess we're going to have to find out if it does happen. America's largest bank. He says that many commercial banks sit with tens of billions in unrealized losses on their books, guys. What this is that this is not just bonds, right? This is also, you're also talking about 70% of regional banks around the United States, and I'm sure other places, they are the ones that give loans for businesses and office buildings, okay? And the real estate market for office buildings in major cities like San Francisco and Texas, some other places, they have taken huge hits. Like values are maybe 1/3 or 1/4 of what maybe they are, they paid for it. It's rough right now, guys. It's really rough still. And these banks are going to be taking huge losses coming up here. So I do think there's going to be more bank failures. in like 2021, 2022, I said there was going to be a liquidity crisis, which there is. I also said that, you know, Deutsche Bank was going to fail, which it did. So, I mean, I track all of this stuff because all of this stuff is going to affect the economy. You affect the economy, you affect the crypto market and the stock market. I like to make sure that I kind of foresee what's maybe going to happen here. So that's why I talk about this a lot on this channel. Unrealized losses on investment securities held by banks in the United States stood at $558 billion as of June 30th. That is a lot, right? Remember Silvergate Capital, Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and First Republic. All these banks has collapsed. There's going to be more banks that are going to join them. Average credit card interest rates in the United States is 22%. Oof. Simultaneously, credit card debt among Americans recently reached a record of $1 trillion, right? You can see people don't have money, especially in the United States. A lot of people think every American, you know, is just wealthy. That is not true. A lot of us live paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of people do struggle. So a lot of people have money on credit cards and they are being charged ridiculous rates for those credit cards. This is Crypto Darren Moore. He says that this is an easy problem to solve. This is actually Brad Garlinghouse's tattoo. He's saying that this is Starlink connection with XRP, Ripple, and Starlink. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It kind of looks like Starlink. So I think he did a good job about identifying that Starlink plus XRP. We'll have to see, guys. Just because you know what, when you're looking at Twitter, Twitter is a global brand, and they have to make payments in all these different currencies globally, right? They're not going to use Bitcoin, too expensive. They're not going to use Ethereum, it's too expensive. They're not going to use Dogecoin, even though I know you guys hope. You know, I don't know. I know a lot of Dogecoin holders think that Dogecoin is going to be. It's just not a payment currency, guys. So remember, Dogecoin was always a meme. We'll have to see. I could be wrong, but XRP is probably a much better choice. We talked about this already. We talked about this already too. Eleanor Torre tweeted out this motion to leave and file interlocutory appeal. Ripple case has been denied. Let's keep it going. We've had a crazy couple months here in the United States. For the first time ever, the Speaker of the House has been voted out by 8 Republicans and Democrats. And so a Republican brought this up, and now Patrick McHenry, who is the chairman of the digital asset committee or digital asset subcommittee, is the temporary he's the temporary House Speaker. House Speaker is, I guess you'd call it second or third in line. You have the president. If something happened to the president and vice president, the Speaker of the House would become the president of the United States. The only problem is I was watching the news this morning. I would think Patrick McHenry would make a great speaker. Speaker is the one who kind of decides what bills come onto the House floor to be voted on. He does not want the job. And so I don't think he is going to get it, but he is the temp for now until somebody else is voted in. But he said on TV today that he does not want the job, which is very sad because I think he'd make a great speaker. Anyways, let's just keep going. ISO Goat loves to just credit smoke. Several of these have November 2023 docs. These are all banks that plan to do something in November. Some of the biggest banks in the world are on this list, and a lot of Ripple partners are on this list too. So we'll have to see how all this plays out. JP Morgan Chase has trillions of dollars in assets. They do have their own Onyx blockchain, which you can actually buy if you wanted to. But all of these banks, guys, are going to have DLT backends, right? And so JP Morgan Chase is never going to hold Deutsche Bank or HSBC tokens or Bank of America tokens. They're never going to be able to hold each other's tokens due to third-party risk. So we'll have to see what technologies these guys end up starting to use. My research was right, bro. JP, what are you talking about, dog? Hit me up with what you're talking about. Let's keep it going here. A lot more to get to. World unification under a common standard, right? World Economic Forum. I know that not everybody loves the way that Klaus Schwab, whatever the guy's name is, he kind of turns me off with some of the things that he says. But you have the ISO, you have UTI DC initiative, e-bill paperless trading, and then you have all of these different companies in the space that are helping to push this forward. I would love to see a company like Ripple try to buy R3. I think that would be like the final piece. I'm actually going to do a video on this. I've done some research on this, and to buy R3, not only would you need permission from all their investors, you would need at least $1 billion to $2.5 billion, depending on what that looks like. And you know, it's not like buying Medico for $250 million. Ripple is invested in 60 companies at about $500 million in total. So this would be a purchase way out there. They would need to probably go public, Ripple would be, and to have their valuation skyrocket so they could actually pull on some of these funds to do that. But who knows what's going to happen in the future. But if there's a company out there that's big enough to try to do this, I think it would be Ripple. You also have Quant. You have Stellar here, of course, R3. And some other companies here, SDX, six company. You have XDC down here. You have HBAR. IBM is gigantic. All right, Algorand. All of these are great assets to do some research on. ICC, 100 million members globally. You know, it's all coming together. Of course, it is going to take some time. Crypto Erie wanted to go ahead and talk about this. Chase Bank customers. So this is actually not accurate. So she did some follow up on this. She says, now a suspended account. This company claimed that you could use crypto to pay bills and services. And she actually went out and reached out. And I guess this company has no connection to Chase. So just got to be careful. Win a Phoenix X1 blockchain phone. We are doing an AMA live in the Cryptonaires Discord at 12:30 my time, which is 6:30 PST, which is about an hour from now. So I'm gonna have to end this here in about 50 minutes. And so if you want to win a blockchain Phoenix blockchain phone, you can go ahead and fill this out. You want to go to Finovant or BioFi on Twitter and complete the link and complete the task in order to do that. I'm also, Brian told me that they're going to give away a phone to a Cryptonaires member here coming up. I'm setting that up to give a giveaway out in our community. All right. $1 to $2 billion US worth of trades every day by JP Morgan on the Onyx platform, guys. Onyx is going to be big. Onyx is going to be big, right? Because JP Morgan can force smaller banks to use their technology. But check this out.
You know, firms like JP Morgan. So we have a platform called Onyx Digital Assets. It's a platform for tokenizing traditional assets, like US Treasuries, mortgage-backed securities, etc. We're doing between $1 to $2 billion every day of trading of traditional tokenized assets on this platform.
So it's a treasury.
US Treasury.
So if you take it, so you effectively,
you know, firms like JP Morgan.
All
so
right.
we have a platform called.
That was a quick clip. Let's keep it going. I got some more information to get to here, guys. A lot of stuff to get to. Guys, Casper also too. Casper's a great token. You can actually you can use your ledger with Casper. Did you know? Super quick. You can stake your Casper using your ledger. You know, if you didn't know that, now you do. Let's keep it going. Stellar, excited to see Bitstamp and support for Circle's USDC on Stellar, expanding access to near instant and low-cost transactions. Users across Europe can now tap into global ecosystem of apps and payment services powered by Stellar's blockchain network on and off ramps. So you need more and more on and off ramps to get money in and out of the ecosystem. This is great. You're just going to keep seeing more and more of this. This is from XRP Drops talking about Santander. They're not even mentioning Ripple, RippleNet, XRP, ODL throughout this whole advertisement. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I just want to show you that this is here if you want to come watch it. Chad Steingraber had some information here about this as well. Let me just play this real quick for you, a little bit of this, and we'll move on.
The strategy behind OnePayFX is very simple. It's actually being able to give our customers something which they really need and appreciate, which is fast, convenient, simple, and competitive international payments.
The easiest place to make a payment is from your bank account. And the fact that customers are moving on to other products and services means that we are not providing the service that they want. So
OMC, you are absolutely right. I'm not going to play the rest of this, guys. We got a lot of other stuff to get to, but this is here if you want to come take a look at it. You're right. Yeah, JP Morgan is being sued for patent infringement. I don't know what's going on with that, but JP Morgan, that's what they do, man. They steal. I mean, how many times have they been caught and how many billions have they been fined for, you know, manipulating the gold and silver markets or, you know, they've done so many scummy things. It's just kind of cringeworthy. Anyways, FedNow service surpasses 100 participants since the July launch. Maybe the adoption isn't going as fast as they would like it to, but hey, more than 100 institutions are now actively participating in FedNow service network, which launched in July. There are now 108 financial institutions sending and receiving on the network, 21 institutions providing liquidity and settlement services, and 20 service providers supporting payment processing and instant payments infrastructure, the Federal Reserve said on October 3rd. Ken Montgomery, the first vice president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston and FedNow program executive, said in the release, the momentum and interest we're seeing in FedNow service in the past weeks after launch reflects noteworthy support from early adopters and underscores the changing U.S. payments landscape. So love to see it. I'm interested in FedWire payments when those will start coming. I've seen stuff talking about in November. We'll have to see. FedWire is the service that processes trillions of dollars a day. Guys, also too, I just wanted to point out cryptonaires.com. We have our new website up and all the services that we provide in our community and these great chats that I do here live on YouTube. I do them in the Cryptonaires Discord normally. So if you guys like these chats, they save people a lot of time and that's where they find value. We also talk about just a ton of different things in those channels. And we talk about some new projects. We talk about existing projects. Some of it's stock market related, but we're mostly a Cryptonaire crypto information service. So if you guys want more information, cryptonaires.com. Love to have you in the community. Bubba Cugs, always remember, people actually thought XRP could be a security and the future of XRP was dead when the U.S. Treasury is on the Ripple board. Former Ripple advisor is the top dog at the Federal Reserve. That's Mr. Barr. I showed you him earlier. Former Ripple employees are the head of digital assets at BlackRock. So, you know, it's sometimes in the business, it's who you know and who you're connected to. So we'll have to see how that plays out. All right. I thought this was great. Today, identify filed patent. Here you go, OMC. Here is what you were asking about. Looking back, August 2019, Patent Sleuth, this is, what's his name? King Solomon, found that Australian company identity identified using Ripple member network XRP and XRPL as a settlement layer with Swift message standards originally filed in 2016. From the patent settlement gateway, payers, banks sends, by the way, of non-limiting example XRP, the native currency of Ripple protocol, to billers, bank gateways, payers, bank gateway notifies token database 1023 of receipt. And so here's the patent. Identity helps the global finance service industry collect and share sensitive data, accelerate cross-border payments, manage and exchange of customer data, reduce manual expectations, and streamline automated regulatory reporting. I'm going to go ahead and play this.
We've made it public that our patent for an idea that uses blockchain and tokens to send and receive very rich payment information around the world has the ability to connect both old and new payment networks around the world. So for the transmission of payment messages, we could be connecting members of the Swift network with members of the Ripple network. And I think that late in August, we submitted some additional claims to the US Patent Office, and that received some really keen interest from investors around the world.
So do you think it's only a matter of time then that more investors grasp the story and the potential?
We released a new investor presentation yesterday, which I think does a much greater job of explaining in detail that framework that I talked to you about before in terms of what are we doing now, what's on the horizon for us next, and then what does our long-term strategy look like. And we have connected all of the dots between our United States patent reporting to regulators and some of the longer-term strategies of the business. And, I think it tells a really neat story about some potential significant long-term benefits for the company.
That was Identity CEO.
All right, guys, we got 66 of you watching, 34 likes. Hook it up, guys. Slap that like button. Help me get in front of more people. I would really appreciate you. Big hug from Sensei. We did talk about Orchestra Finance. You also have Crossmark here. Using Crossmark, users can choose between pop-up mode or sticky mode. Not my favorite choice of words there, but please let us know the preference. And this is talking about more use cases on the XRP Ledger. I'm not going to play that. Let's just keep moving. XRP's official digital token identifier unit multiplier explained. This is kind of the DTI, what I was talking about, digital token identifier. This is all the information that you would need to go ahead and send payments using cryptocurrency like XRP, like XDC, like XLM. They're all in there. Just some cool information here. You guys can pause this wherever you are and read this if you guys so choose to, but I'm going to keep rolling here with more information. The most important change will be in the SEPA upgrade, additional of legal identifier and lay. I did a video about lay and VLay. It's on YouTube. Maybe it came out last week. If you want to get more information on what this is, please go ahead and watch that video. I will just read briefly about what this is really quickly. Lay standards for legal identity identifier and an alternative identification of companies and other organizations. The use of the lay could become mandatory in the future for SEPA payments from and to, but this is not yet the case. If you include lay in your SEPA payments, ING will forward this to a counterparty bank. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is adopted. This is just a new way of identifying and standardizing certain companies. We'll have to see how this plays out. Do I need to get into this? I mean, I've shown you guys this before. If you don't watch my YouTube channel and you're just kind of signing into this, let me just show you this really quickly. Visa's digital currency settlement platform, organizations involved, Visa, interoperability methods, APIs, bridges, and others, Universal Payments Channel, UPC, Interledger Protocol, and RippleNet. Okay? Always good to see this, right? You do have... and people throw, Visa's working to work with Solana, not with Ripple or XRP. I think, Visa, UnionPay, MasterCard, I think they're going to have multiple technologies that they're going to be partnered with, guys. I don't think it's going to be one over the other. I think they're going to try to use everything they can to give better services to their clients, okay? Let's just keep this rolling. Crypto adoption through banking partnerships. This is going to happen more and more. The reason why banks are going to adopt crypto, guys, is because they can make money. Banks are here to make money. I know, some of us have different opinions on certain banks and how things go. But if a bank wants to stay relevant, if they want to stay there, they need to adopt crypto. Because if you're at a bank and you want to invest in crypto and your bank doesn't offer crypto, are you going to move banks? You probably will, right? And so banks are going to lose market share if they don't do this. So this has new roles of banks. As the size and level of sophistication grows, the more connected crypto assets become with the traditional finance fiat world. This opens up opportunities for banks that have included crypto assets in their innovation and business agenda. Some banks have already moved into crypto asset infrastructures via venture investments in crypto exchanges and services. Furthermore, the banking sector is increasingly active in facilitating the digital asset trading platforms of tomorrow. This is often sparked through partnerships involving other banks, clients, and technology providers. These partnerships allow banks to explore crypto assets and new business models they might bring, including platform ownership and plug-in services. This is where we're heading, guys. This is where we're heading. The usage and guidelines for ISO CBPR plus messages will target implementation in November, right? We talk about this we're kind of, tired in the face. The usage guidelines for ISO messages that will replace MT110, MT111, MT112 for checks, and MT190, MT290, MT191. These are all just different messaging standards. Target implementation is November. So all of these messages are going to be replaced now with this new ISO standard. These new ISO messages are currently being evaluated by the ISO PaySeg and CBPR Plus working group, and it has agreed to work on usage guidelines and messages, right? So interesting stuff. And then, Swift is really big into this. Swift, this is when they're making the transition to some of these ISO messages. Remember, the end date for all of this is November of 2025. I do think 2025 is going to be a great year for adoption of digital assets. We still have to get through 2024. We're going to have to see how all this plays out. But Swift, they're going to want to use this. Swift's community has agreed to provide structured data and payments initiated in ISO, and there is clear intention at industry level to coordinate a rapid transition to mandatory structure in Q4 of 2023. All right. It is November 19th is the date, right? And there's actually a lot of juicy information in this whole thing. This talks about Target 2, and you have the Euro, Federal Reserve, FedWire, that's the big one. The Clearinghouse is just chips, that's in the UK. You have the real-time gross settlement, Hong Kong, HCICL. The Bank of England will switch to ISO as well, which will dominate high-value payments supporting 80% of volume and 90% of value of transactions worldwide. 90% of value of transactions globally. Crazy stuff, guys. We're really heading into the thick of it here. So if you've been waiting for years, or if you just now got into crypto, you've got in, or you're here at the right time. A lot of stuff is happening behind the scenes, and this is what keeps you kind of updated with all that. lot of good information here. A high proportion of high-value payments that originate in 8VP systems go on to include an international leg out, and around 10% of target 2 and up to 90% for chips, right? So it's going to get big here, guys. It's going to get big, and we'll have to see how all of this plays out. I do think you're going to see something like XRP, something like XLM, something like XDC move over the SWIFT system. I think they're definitely going to use it. Remember, SWIFT is just a conglomerate of banks. They are headed in Switzerland. You also have SMBC, Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation is a core member of the Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Corporation, a Tokyo-based holding company that is ranked among the top 25 largest banks in the world. You do have Ripple that is really big in places like Japan, also the Middle East and Africa, and in London there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. You do have some more things coming out of Constellation, and Constellation just had a little bit of a pump there. Iron Spider is the industry blockchain of choice. This is this guy's personal opinion, in my opinion. Created by Constellation for the Department of Defense, DAG to tens of billions plus the next bull market. I'm waiting for Constellation to be able to launch their actual blockchain. They promised that they were going to do this over a year ago now. So I think they're making updates to it. They did lose Wyatt. Wyatt has gone on to build his own project. They do have somebody else now filling that role. But these are all of the things that they're working on they have phase 1, you have phase 2, you have phase 2 UFR 2023, 2024. So it is going to still be some time, right? 3 months into 15 months POP. Staggering environments active, prototype of development, onboarding more CRAF participants. We'll see, man. I'm rooting for Constellation and the team over there. Here you go. U.S. debt rises by $275 billion in one day. Damn, we sure know how to print money and spend it on crazy stuff here in the United States. Now we're at $33.44 trillion. Exactly 2 weeks ago, U.S. total debt hit $33 trillion. Man, 2 weeks ago we hit 33 trillion, and now we're already at 33.44. Man, my question to everybody is this: how long can this continue? Like, really, how long can it continue? Right? Here is the uptake for COVID, and then the Biden administration took over, like right here, and this is where they've taken us. So, how much further can you kick the can down the road? It's actually interesting because China has printed over like 50 trillion in if you're comparing it to dollars. They've printed more money in China than the US has actually, and actually like 95% of the currency in China is only in China. So we're just gonna have to see how all this plays out, guys. But one day you're not gonna be able to kick this can down the road, and I think that's where you're gonna get a financial reset. Okay. U.S. national debt has been growing faster in GDP for nearly 10 years. So this is under Republican and Democratic presidents. However, U.S. national debt is growing faster than GDP by its largest margin in history. This is bad. Means we're spending more than we're taking in. Some administrations over the past 10 years have given a lot of tax cuts and breaks to big corporations. So they're not paying their fair share. So it gets really kind of ass handed down to people like me who end up paying for these bigger corporations. I just did my taxes, and I paid a lot. As of 2 weeks ago, national debt crossed 33 trillion, guys. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I don't know how long we can keep this up. Cryptocurrency in November. Oh, did Cass do that? Cass, I'm going to kill you, man. All right, Cass, if you're listening to this, fix the title of that video now, please. All right. The Bank of Korea is now testing a CBDC or WCBDC or the BIS. I follow the same approach in many recent BIS test pilots using the unified ledger. So when you talk about the network of networks, guys, they're talking about Quant here. How does a unified ledger work? Look at the right and you'll see payment system ledgers connecting with APIs like Quant. Additionally, when we look further within the unified ledger descriptions, There's a strong focus on connecting multiple ledgers to this unified ledger for a complete system. Each ledger specifically in its own use cases, central bank payment providers, and this allows the interconnect and coexist through APIs to ensure interoperability. Seems like Project Roslyn is a sample of API success, was more than just a pass. It has now been used in 2 other CBDC models, right? So you have Korean wholesale CBDC pilot to support tokenized deposits, unified ledger. They are talking about Quant here, guys. Quant has a lower supply. If you're just hearing about Quant, guys, let me just show you this really quickly. I'm going to strangle Cass when I get out of this video. Quant is at $89 right now. You are at $1 billion market cap, okay? And there's only 12 million circulating supply and a total of 14.8 million Quant, okay? Let me show you this. CoinGecko. I actually like this feature in CoinGecko. Compare coins. Let me just show you this. You have Quant, and then you have Bitcoin. So if Quant reaches the total of Bitcoin, the price per Quant is $37,000. Okay, so you're looking at a price of $89. I do think Quant will be as big as Bitcoin one day. This could take 5-10 years. I don't know how long it'll actually take, but you're talking about a massive 423% gain if it can get to a Bitcoin level. If you're talking about like an Ethereum level, you are talking about a $13,000 Quant. This is why I say a 5-digit Quant is very, very on the table, especially when you put in all these CBDCs and different things that are going with that. All right. Let's see where we are here. Let me see. Oh, I thought this was interesting. Let me just show you this. Steven Narioff is kind of the whistleblower here. You have now breaking the SEC enforcement director is now a target of corruption. I think you need to get rid of the entire upper echelon of the SEC and just start over. There obviously is a problem here with corruption, and it's not getting any better anytime soon. So we need to get rid of all of these just shit people and get some real people in there that are going to not just go after companies because they think they can win. They actually need to have something of real proof that they've done something wrong. If you guys want updates, if you are in the Constellation ecosystem, if you're not following Julius Optimus, he does these updates about Hypergraph Hour. He kind of puts a lot of time in. Go ahead and give him a follow and check that out. I don't really want to play this because I don't know exactly when this clip is from. This clip is from 2018, so I'm not going to play this because it's way outdated. Let me just play this top one, and I need to answer something.
We talk about first mover advantage a lot, and it's actually very interesting because in technology, it can certainly be possible to be too early to develop a product that the world is just not ready to receive, or the infrastructure isn't in place to make that product as successful as it could be. So sometimes the first mover doesn't always win. Sometimes they're too early. But I think that it's not just about the first mover effect for adoption. It's also about the first mover effect for standards. So whoever's first out of the gate here is going to set norms and standards around around privacy, around how open the system is, and actually very detailed standards in how transactions are formatted and how they interact. And as financial institutions start onboarding onto these systems, they're going to get used to one set of standards, and it's going to be extra work to add in new sets of.
What's up, Jean? How you doing? From Quebec City. Great to see you, man. Or a woman. I don't know if Jean, I think Jean is a male name, but I could be totally wrong, so don't butcher me. I do apologize, but welcome. It's great to see you. Thank you for joining us for Sensei Chat here. This is the guy that makes me cringe, and I do get worried about what this guy says, but you do need to listen to this because this guy is talking crazy. I lived in California for many years. I am from California. There's no way this is ever going to happen in the next 6 to 7 years. This is what this guy thinks. Let me just play this for you.
We meet for the 20th. I hope I will have the pleasure still to be invited for the meeting. When we meet for the 20th Governance Summit, you will use the app like Uber, but not anymore to call some driver, but automatically guided car, a self-driven car, will come to your hotel or wherever you are and will bring you to the airport. No, Los Angeles is one of the cities with the heaviest traffic who told me in 2030 Los Angeles will be private car driven free. And this will allow to transform highways into parks and other public spheres.
Okay, so that will never happen in LA. There are too many people and too many drivers in LA to go all private. I know this guy thinks that everybody's a millionaire and a billionaire and we can all afford to just pay people to drive us places. That's not real, and that's not how the real world works. This guy does live in an alternate reality. Metaverse, I guess. Maybe he's from a different world, but we're not going to be eating bugs. We're not going to give up our ownership of all of our stuff. I think this guy will be long dead and gone before any of that stuff really goes down, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe when I'm 60 or 70, he'll still be around. Like maybe he's just an alien. I don't know. Anyways, there's also a new Infoyos report 2023. As many as 94% of capital market firms will now be generating profits, 4 million digital assets by the end of 2024. 60% of respondents believe that it will be crucial to partner with crypto native companies as part of their digital asset strategy. So, I mean, you're seeing more and more and more stuff come out like this. Just this little part right here. This means that as many as 94% of capital market firms will be generating profits from digital assets by the end of 2024. 94% of capital market firms will be generating. That is incredible, guys. And once you tokenize this money supply, when you tokenize stocks, when you tokenize bonds, when you tokenize derivatives, this is how our value, that the tokens that we hold, can go up dramatically. Remember, it is not going to be retail people like you and me that are going to pump these tokens to stupid prices. It is going to be the tokenization of real estate and assets that bring the value onto these certain blockchains. That is really where the value is going to come from. Okay, guys? That is where it's going to come from. All right. I mean, this is more stuff is saying ESMA supervisory convergence measures. More stuff is planned to activate them in the production environment end of November. A lot of stuff is getting ready for the end of November. The XRP captain here says, final warning, train has already left the station. I've heard this before, but they're comparing this market structure to when XRP pumped, I think, to its all-time high up here. So I would love to see XRP pump crazy. I would love to see it, guys. I've been waiting for a very long time, and I'll continue to wait. Yes, Ripple received a Singapore license. So did Siam Bank, who received an 8-figure USD investment from SBI and has $3.5 billion in assets under management. Institutional clients can invest in a wide range of leading crypto assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Matic, and more. You're just going to see more and more Polysign, Uniswap's on here as well, guys. This is a great thread on Tau. A lot of people ask me, hey, what are good assets outside of the ones you talk about a lot? I think Tau in the next bull market is going to reign supreme. If you want to check out this thread, you want to look up this person's handle. Sahil Roy Khan is what you're looking for. He's got 3,926 followers, and he puts out a masterclass on what Tau is, the AI layer functionality, machine learning, value proposition for the token. It's an incredible. He's got information about the team here, partnerships, influencers who maybe to follow in the space. Also Casper. I think Casper is a great token as well, but take a look at this if you want another token to take a look at. Only an equities crash can rescue the bond market, Barclays says. Man, there's going to be a crash of some sort. I do think you're going to see a crash in the stock market coming up here towards the end of the year or into 2024 as the AI hype fades. That is really what has been pushing the stock market up in these last, 6 to 12 months. So banks are thinking that this is going to go down. So we'll have to see. In the last 8 decades, savings as a percentage of national income has only contracted 3 times. The Great Recession, the I don't want to say it because YouTube might shadow ban the video, but pandemic crash and the everything bubble, 2023, right? So household savings, right? This is what I'm paying attention to, right? This is people not having money to put into crypto markets, stock markets, whatever it is, right? Regular people don't have savings anymore. It's at 2008 levels, right? So something is coming, right? And the only way out of this is to print more money. And if you're at core inflation is between 4 and 5% right now, it's going to take longer to get down to 2% than it did to get from 9% down to 4 to 5% in the United States. So that means they wouldn't be able to print money in access for at least another year or two. So what do? If your inflation is sticky right now, if you start printing money right now, inflation is going to go into a higher level than it did during the pandemic. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. That is not accurate. Let me go ahead and close that. Guys, also too, if you want to follow some of these chats that I do, we turn them into text files. Cass does this. I know Cass sometimes does some crazy titles on my videos. I do apologize. He's just excited to grow the channel. But we do turn them into Medium articles now. So if you want to just kind of read and some information here, you can take a look at Medium and join that at Crypto Sensei. Thank you so much. And that's it, guys. Also, I wanted to tell you about Token Metrics, guys. I just did an interview with the CEO of Token Metrics. In the last bull market, he turned 20 grand into $5 million. He built this. It has 100 different points of data that they take from all across the crypto market. They have webinars. They have deep dives. They have hidden gems. A lot of great information on Token Metrics. They also have an AI tool that you can use. Let me just show you this real quick. There's a link down in the description if you guys want more information. They have a free account right now that used to be $20 a month. Since we are in a bear market, you can actually create your account. You sign up with Google, and it's a free account right now. If you want to use some of like the AI tool, you have to get the Medium account, but this is a great place to get crypto information and services. All right, let me take some time and answer some questions in the chat here. Let me just go ahead and slide this laptop over, slide this one closer to me. And anyone have any questions about the current market we're in? If that's a shotgun mic, point the end directly towards your mouth. It is pointed directly towards my mouth. All right. All right. I'm an audio snob. I need to work on my audio. Green Llama, maybe I'm going to fly you to Hawaii to fix my audio. All right. How's that sound? Yes. Cryptonair is a great place to learn different things. Will the BioFi AMA be here? No, it's going to be on Discord. But I can't record it, though. That's going to be an issue. I'll have to figure that out, Green Llama. That is a great point, that Loom is not really working for me. You know what I mean? I might use my other laptop because my other laptop is not hooked up to all of this other stuff. So let me do that. I'm going to, I need to update Loom on this other laptop and use this laptop to do the Loom recording in Discord. It's going to be in Discord, though. That'll be open to the public too, guys. We're going to have a lot of really good information from the CEO about BioFi in that meeting. So please come and take a look if you are interested in learning more about that project. I do think 2024 is going to be a great year for them. They've been building and building and building, and we're waiting for them to make some big moves in the space. So I'm really getting excited for that. And so I'm just trying to fix my Loom situation here really quickly before we get into this AMA. Any questions about any of the information that we just went over, guys? I want to go ahead and answer anything if you guys have anything. If not, I am going to jump off, try to fix this Loom stuff. Got it on Discord. Awesome. Law. Okay, great. JP, you got anything? 58 still watching, guys. Anyone have any questions or anything that I can answer for you? Please let me know. I would love to do that and make sure that you guys have any questions answered. Spending time with you is important to me. So, and I do need to get back to some chats from questions that are asked on my videos, because I try to reply to every comment, guys. I'm getting hundreds of comments now, and it's difficult. I spend a couple hours a day trying to answer all these comments, but I do my best, and I do appreciate everybody that leaves a comment. So thank you so much. Let me see if there's any questions. All right, you got everything you need? All right, no questions. Well, then we're going to end the chat today, guys. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Robert Doyle, thank you so much. I will see you next time. We're going to do more of these chats live here on YouTube, so we can all just hang out, learn and grow together. That's what this whole space is about. It's about community. I really appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and have a great weekend, guys.